Football, as we know it today, is very different from how it started a long time ago. The game has evolved tremendously over the centuries, transforming from a rough and chaotic pastime into a highly organized and globally celebrated sport. Today, millions of fans gather in massive stadiums and tune in from around the world to watch their favorite teams and players compete at the highest level. The passion, the excitement, and the sheer skill on display make football a truly beautiful game. Millions of people watch amazing players show off their skills and teamwork, all while following clear rules. These rules ensure that the game is fair and enjoyable for everyone involved. The precision of a well-executed pass, the thrill of a perfectly timed goal, and the strategic maneuvers of the players all contribute to the spectacle that is modern football. The teamwork and camaraderie among players are evident as they work together to outsmart their opponents and achieve victory. But this exciting game actually came from messy and chaotic beginnings. In its early days, football was a far cry from the organized sport we know today. Matches were often unruly and lacked any formal structure, with large groups of people participating in what could only be described as a free-for-all. The game was played in the streets and fields, with very few rules to govern the action. It was a rough and tumble affair, with players often getting injured in the chaos. A long time ago, football was called mob football, and it wasn't anything like the game we know today. Mob football was played between neighboring villages, with entire communities participating. The objective was often to move a ball to a specific location, such as a church or a landmark, by any means necessary. There were no standardized rules, and the game could last for hours, sometimes even days. It was a wild and unpredictable event, with little regard for safety or order. This video will explore how football rules changed over time, from crazy, disorganized games to the high-tech sport we see today. The journey from mob football to modern football involved the gradual introduction of rules and regulations to bring order to the chaos. Over the years, various attempts were made to standardize the game, leading to the establishment of official rules and governing bodies. These changes helped to shape football into a more structured and competitive sport, paving the way for the professional leagues and international tournaments we enjoy today. We'll see how the need for order, fairness, and the love of the game made football what it is. The introduction of technology such as VAR, Video Assistant Referee, has further enhanced the fairness and accuracy of the game. Modern football is not just about athleticism and skill, it also emphasizes sportsmanship and respect among players, officials, and fans. The evolution of football reflects our desire to create a game that is not only exciting to watch but also fair and just for all participants. Join us as we delve into the fascinating history of football and discover how it became the beautiful game we cherish today. Imagine a football game with hundreds of players, no real rules, and a game that could go on for hours, even days. That was mob football, a chaotic mess that often turned violent. There were no boundaries, so the game would move through villages and towns, causing damage and trouble. These matches were so rough that people often got hurt, and some even died. So it's not surprising that leaders tried to ban mob football many times. In 1314, King Edward II even made it illegal because it caused too much noise and trouble. Big changes happened in the 1800s thanks to schools and universities in England. This period marked a significant transformation in the way football was played and perceived. Before this era, football was a chaotic and often violent game with very few rules. It was played in various forms across different regions, each with its own set of informal guidelines. However, the 19th century brought about a wave of change that would lay the foundation for the modern game we know today. Places like Eton College, Rugby School, and Harrow School all had their own versions of football, and they started adding rules. These institutions were instrumental in shaping the early development of the game. Each school had its own unique style of play, which often led to confusion and disagreements when teams from different schools competed against each other. To address this, they began to formalize their rules, creating a more structured and standardized approach to the game. This was a crucial step in transforming football from a disorganized pastime into a regulated sport. In 1848, Cambridge University made a big step forward with the Cambridge Rules. These rules were a significant milestone in the history of football. They were created by representatives from various schools who came together to establish a common set of guidelines that could be universally adopted. The Cambridge rules aimed to reduce the violence and chaos that had previously characterized the game, making it more enjoyable and safer for players. This initiative was a major leap towards the standardization of football. These rules helped make the game more organized and less violent. The introduction of the Cambridge rules marked the beginning of a new era for football. It provided a framework that other institutions could follow, leading to a more cohesive and unified approach to the game. The rules covered various aspects of play, including the size of the field, the number of players, and the methods of scoring. This newfound structure not only made the game more enjoyable for players, but also more appealing to spectators. Then, in 1863, the Football Association, or FA, was created in London. This was a pivotal moment in the history of football. The formation of the FA brought together representatives from various clubs and schools to establish a unified set of rules that would govern the game. The FA's primary goal was to create a standardized code that could be adopted by all clubs, ensuring consistency and fairness in play. This initiative was crucial in transforming football into a more organized and professional sport. The FA made a set of rules based on the Cambridge rules and other versions of the game. This comprehensive code of conduct covered all aspects of play, from the dimensions of the field to the behavior of players. The FA's rules were designed to promote fair play and sportsmanship, reducing the likelihood of disputes and ensuring a more enjoyable experience for everyone involved. By adopting and refining the Cambridge rules, the FA played a crucial role in shaping the modern game of football. This was a huge moment. It was the beginning of football as we know it. The establishment of the FA and the adoption of standardized rules marked the birth of organized football. This new era saw the game evolve rapidly, with clubs and leagues forming across the country. The standardized rules allowed for more competitive and exciting matches, attracting larger crowds and increasing the sport's popularity. The foundations laid in the 19th century have had a lasting impact, shaping football into the beloved global phenomenon it is today. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, more rules were added to make football even better. The game was evolving rapidly, and with each new rule, it became more structured and enjoyable for both players and spectators. These changes were crucial in transforming football from a chaotic and often violent pastime into a more organized and strategic sport. The introduction of these rules also helped to standardize the game, making it easier to play and watch across different regions and countries. In 1871, the goalkeeper became an official position, with the job of protecting the goal. This was a significant development because it added a new layer of strategy to the game. The goalkeeper's role was not just to stop the ball but also to organize the defense and start attacks. This change made the game more dynamic and exciting, as teams had to develop new tactics to break down the opposition's defense. This made the game more strategic. Teams began to focus more on planning and executing plays, rather than just relying on individual skill. Coaches and managers started to play a more important role, as they were responsible for developing game plans and making tactical decisions. This shift towards a more strategic approach to football helped to elevate the sport to a new level of sophistication and complexity. Then in 1891 the penalty kick was added to punish fouls close to the goal. This was a major change because it introduced a new way to score goals and added an element of drama to the game. The penalty kick became a crucial part of football, as it provided a direct and often decisive way to punish teams for committing fouls in dangerous areas. This rule change also encouraged players to be more disciplined and careful in their defensive actions. The offside rule, which is important for keeping the game balanced, changed a lot in 1925. This rule was designed to prevent players from gaining an unfair advantage by staying too close to the opponent's goal. The changes made in 1925 aimed to make the game more fluid and attacking, by reducing the number of offside calls and allowing for more goal-scoring opportunities. This had a significant impact on the way the game was played, as teams could now adopt more aggressive and adventurous tactics. This change made the game more exciting and encouraged more attacking plays. As a result, matches became more entertaining for the fans with more goals and thrilling moments. The emphasis on attacking football also led to the development of new playing styles and formations, as teams sought to maximize their goal-scoring potential. This period saw the rise of some of the most famous and successful teams in football history, as they adapted to the new rules and embraced a more attacking approach. These changes, along with setting the size and weight of the ball, made football a more skillful and tactical game. Standardizing the ball ensured that it behaved consistently in different conditions, making it easier for players to develop their skills and for teams to implement their strategies. This period of rule changes and innovations laid the foundation for modern football, creating a sport that is not only physically demanding, but also intellectually challenging. The evolution of football during this time set the stage for the global phenomenon that the sport has become today. The second half of the 1900s brought more rule changes to make football more tactical and fair. Substitutions, added in 1970, let coaches change the game by putting in fresh players or changing their team's formation. The back pass rule, added in 1992, stopped teams from wasting time. Goalkeepers couldn't use their hands if a teammate purposely passed the ball back to them. This made teams play more creatively and attack more. These changes showed how rules were made to keep the game competitive and fair. In 2018, football entered the digital age with the Video Assistant Referee, or VAR. This technology lets referees watch video replays to make sure they make the right calls. VAR has been controversial, with some people arguing about how it's used and how it affects the game's flow, but it shows how football is always trying to be fairer and more accurate, especially because quick decisions can change the whole game. Technology has changed football in other ways too. Goal line technology, added in 2012, instantly tells us if the ball crossed the goal line, so there are no more arguments about close calls. Player tracking systems using GPS and wearable tech show us exactly how players are performing, which helps with training and tactics. These technologies not only help referees make better calls, but also help fans understand the game better. Even with all the changes, the heart of football has stayed the same. It's about teamwork, passion, and having fun. It's a sport that brings people from all over the world together, no matter their language or culture. The changing rules haven't hurt this. They've made it stronger. By making the game fair, encouraging skill and promoting respect, the rules have helped football become a global phenomenon. From the messy fields of long ago to the high-tech stadiums of today, football's journey has been amazing. The rules have always been changing, all to make the game more fun and fair. The goalkeeper, the penalty kick, the offside rule, substitutions, the back pass rule, VAR, and other technologies all show how football is always trying to be better. But through all these changes, the heart of football, the teamwork, the passion, the joy, has never gone away. The changing rules have not only changed how the game is played, but have also made it the world's most loved sport.